Are you ready to break through your limits? To stop making excuses and start taking action? In today's world, strength is more than just physical. It's mental, emotional, and spiritual. There will be moments when life hits harder than you ever expected. Moments when giving up feels easier than fighting back. But weakness is not in the struggle. It's in the silence, in the surrender. If you've ever felt defeated, stuck, or unsure, this video is for you. It's time to confront your weaknesses, rise above them, and embrace the strength you have within. Don't be weak. Start building a better, stronger you today. Let's get into it. When we talk about weakness, most of us instinctively think about being physically weak, unable to lift heavy objects, tired easily, or not having the stamina to keep going in tough situations. But weakness goes far beyond physical strength. It's much deeper than that. Weakness, in the broader sense, is a mindset. Weakness is the inability to face challenges head-on, to handle the discomfort that life throws at us, and to stand firm in the face of adversity. It's a tendency to give up when things get tough, to take the easy way out when the road gets difficult, and to allow fear and doubt to dictate your decisions. This is not just about physical limitations. It's about mental and emotional fortitude. A person might look strong on the outside, but if they can't cope with stress, handle rejection, or face personal struggles without crumbling, they are weak in other ways. Weakness is about avoidance. It's choosing not to deal with difficult emotions or situations because they feel overwhelming. It's allowing the discomfort of hardship to stop you from growing. Let's start with physical weakness, because this is the kind of weakness most people are familiar with. When we talk about physical weakness, we're talking about the inability of the body to perform tasks or endure strain. It's when you try to pick something up and your muscles give out, or when you can't keep going because your body has no energy left. It's visible and measurable. Everyone can see it, and there's often an immediate solution: rest, nutrition, or exercise. You strengthen your body by working on it, and your body responds accordingly. But mental and emotional weakness is a bit more elusive. It's harder to recognize because it doesn't always show on the outside. In fact, many of us hide this type of weakness, thinking it's something we should keep to ourselves or something to be ashamed of. Mental weakness isn't about your ability to think. It's about your mindset when faced with challenges. It's the inability to push through when things get tough, or to keep going when the road gets difficult. Mental weakness shows up when you avoid situations because you're afraid of failure, when you're quick to give up when things don't go as planned, or when your fear of discomfort takes control over your actions. Emotional weakness is very closely tied to mental weakness. It's when your emotions overpower your ability to think clearly or make rational decisions. It's easy to let frustration, sadness, or anger dictate your behavior. Emotional weakness is letting your feelings run the show instead of having the discipline to control them. Giving up too easily is a form of mental and emotional weakness. We've all been there, trying something new and failing. It's natural to feel discouraged, but it becomes a form of weakness when you allow that one failure to stop you from trying again. It's the feeling of giving up without even exploring all options, of thinking that because something is hard, it's just not worth pursuing anymore. Another sign of mental and emotional weakness is when you let emotions rule your decisions. Perhaps someone says something harsh, and instead of responding calmly, you let your anger or hurt dictate your next move. This often leads to regrettable actions or missed opportunities. A strong person can feel the anger or sadness, but chooses to respond from a place of logic, not just emotion. Then, there's a tendency to avoid difficult situations. How many times have you found yourself putting off a tough conversation or avoiding a difficult project because it seems like too much? This avoidance stems from a fear of discomfort, which is a major aspect of mental and emotional weakness. Confronting challenges is uncomfortable, and it's human nature to seek comfort. But growth, change, and success are built on a foundation of confronting discomfort, not running from it. Let's take a moment to think about why mental and emotional weakness are so important to recognize. When we face challenges in life, whether it's a tough job, a difficult relationship, or an unexpected setback, our mindset determines whether we overcome them or allow them to break us. A weak mind gives in quickly. It gets defeated by adversity and doesn't have a resilience to keep fighting. In contrast, a strong mind pushes through discomfort. A strong mind learns from failure instead of letting it define its worth. It understands that setbacks are a part of growth, and every challenge is an opportunity to build inner strength. This is why mental and emotional weakness can often be more limiting than physical weakness. Physical weakness can be improved through training, rest, and proper care, but mental and emotional weakness requires an internal shift. It requires building resilience, developing emotional control, and learning how to embrace discomfort as a tool for growth. How to recognize mental and emotional weakness. You give up easily when things don't go your way. You avoid situations that make you uncomfortable. You allow your emotions to dictate your decisions, leading to regret. You fear failure so much that it stops you from trying. You constantly seek comfort over growth, even when you know it holds you back. The path to overcoming weakness. The first step to overcoming weakness, whether physical, mental, or emotional, is awareness. Recognizing that weakness is a choice. It's a habit, a way of thinking and responding to life's challenges. It's not permanent, and you are in control of how you respond to life. Every time you choose to face discomfort instead of running from it, you build strength. The second step is action. Weakness doesn't go away by itself. It requires effort, consistency, and the willingness to push past your limits. If you can learn to embrace discomfort and failure as part of the growth process, you will develop resilience. You will build a mental and emotional toughness that allows you to handle life's challenges with greater ease and grace. At first glance, weakness might seem like just a momentary lapse in our strength or resolve, but it's much more than that. Weakness isn't just about not being physically strong. It's about an underlying mindset that prevents you from fully engaging with life. It's about letting fears, doubts, or external circumstances define your limits. Weakness often traps you in a cycle where you're stuck in good enough. It's that feeling of never truly striving for your best because deep down, you fear what might happen if you push too hard, fail, or make a mistake. It keeps you comfortable, but in that comfort, you settle for mediocrity instead of greatness. The more you give into weakness, the harder it becomes to break free from that cycle, and it can slowly eat away at your motivation, your dreams, and your potential. Think of someone who has big dreams of starting a business. They want to succeed, they talk about it, but when it comes time to take action, whether it's making a first investment or reaching out to a mentor or facing the challenges of starting from scratch, they hesitate. They worry about making mistakes or not succeeding, so they don't even try. Over time, the dream remains just that, a dream. Weakness often manifests itself in the form of avoidance. You may want success, but when faced with discomfort, you shy away. Success requires effort, sacrifice, and embracing discomfort. Whether it's pushing through long hours of study, practicing a skill repeatedly, or making tough decisions that push you out of your comfort zone, the road to success isn't easy. Weakness makes it feel like it's easier to retreat back into what feels familiar. But the truth is, the more you shy away from discomfort, the more it will keep you from achieving what you truly want. Imagine someone training for a marathon. The first few days are grueling. The muscles ache, the weather is bad, the exhaustion sets in. Weakness might tell them, "You deserve to rest today, skip the run." They might even rationalize, "You can always try again tomorrow." But the more they listen to that voice, the harder it becomes to break free from that cycle. Their fitness goals stay out of reach because they avoid the very discomfort that is required for growth. Weakness can also prevent you from making necessary but difficult decisions, whether it's having an uncomfortable conversation with a loved one, taking responsibility for your own mistakes, or making a career change. It's easy to avoid these situations. Weakness keeps you from confronting hard truths or making those decisions that can lead to growth. But in the long run, avoiding tough decisions only delays progress and keeps you in a state of inaction. A person in a toxic work environment might stay in that job simply because they fear change. They're scared of the unknown, of failing in a new role, or of not finding something better. But by avoiding the tough decision of leaving that job and pursuing something better, they remain stuck in a situation that doesn't serve them. Imagine someone with a dream to be successful. Perhaps they want to build a company, create a product, or make a big impact in their field. They have a vision and a desire, but they are terrified of failure. They fear the worst-case scenarios, losing money, being judged by others, or facing rejection. And because of that, they never take the leap. Instead, they play it safe. They hold on to their job or stick to the life they know, convinced that their dreams will stay out of reach. The root of this behavior is fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown. But this is where weakness sneaks in. Instead of embracing the idea that failure is a part of growth, they allow that fear to hold them back, trapping them in mediocrity. They'll tell themselves, "I'll try someday when the conditions are perfect," but those perfect conditions never come. They just stay stuck in the cycle of someday. Think of someone who has always dreamed of writing a book, but never does because they're afraid it won't be good enough. Every time they sit down to write, doubts flood their mind, and they tell themselves they're not skilled enough or that their writing will never get published. Instead of working through these challenges, they let weakness take hold, convincing themselves that maybe next year will be better. But next year never comes, and the dream remains unfulfilled. Another example is someone who faces a tough breakup or personal loss and allows it to define them for years. While it's normal to grieve after a breakup, the longer you let it affect you, the more it can prevent you from moving forward with your life. Weakness in this situation shows up as an inability to heal, to learn from the experience, or to move on. Sometimes, weakness manifests itself as self-pity or a lack of emotional resilience. It becomes easier to stay stuck in the pain, to hold on to the narrative of "I was hurt," than it is to confront the reality of what needs to be healed. The longer you stay in this state, the more it controls your decisions. You might avoid new relationships, miss out on opportunities, or limit your own potential because you're still holding on to the past. Consider someone who, after a breakup, isolates themselves from friends and family because they can't get over the hurt. They repeatedly relive the pain, telling themselves they'll never find love again. This mindset leads to a self-fulfilling prophecy where their world becomes smaller and smaller, and their potential for joy or growth diminishes. They are letting weakness, the refusal to let go and heal, control their life. The cost of weakness is significant. It traps you in cycles of mediocrity, making it harder to pursue your dreams and reach your potential. Weakness keeps you from taking risks, facing discomfort, and making the tough decisions that are necessary for growth. It holds you back from moving forward in life, whether that's in your career, relationships, or personal growth. But here's the important truth. Weakness is not permanent. It's something that can be confronted, understood, and ultimately overcome. By becoming aware of the moments when you're letting weakness take hold, you can make a conscious effort to break free from its grip and take the steps needed to move towards the life you want. Strength is not something you're born with, and it's certainly not something that can be handed to you by others. It's a decision you make within yourself. Every single day, you are presented with opportunities and challenges that force you to decide what kind of person you want to be in that moment. Will you choose to rise to the occasion, or will you allow circumstances to dictate how you feel, think, and act? It's important to understand that strength comes from within. It isn't about the size of your muscles or how tough you appear on the outside. Real strength is about how you respond to difficulties. It's about how you choose to handle life's ups and downs, the disappointments, the heartaches, and the obstacles that come your way. Strength comes from the ability to stand firm when everything inside you screams to give up. Every decision you make, whether it's to keep going or to quit, shapes your strength. This means you are in control of how strong you are, not the circumstances around you. Life is going to test you, but the way you choose to react to those tests is what defines your true strength. Let's think about this. How often do we let our feelings of fear, doubt, or anger dictate our choices? How many times have we said, "I can't do this," simply because it felt too hard? But what if the secret to overcoming those feelings is realizing that the moment we choose to keep going, we are building strength? Strength is a mindset, and a mindset is something you can control. No one else has the power to determine how strong you are. You do. This realization is empowering because it means that no matter what happens, you have the ability to shape your own strength, to make decisions that will push you toward growth. Every time you face a tough situation, whether it's an exam, a difficult conversation, or a personal challenge, you have a choice. You can choose to see it as an obstacle that weakens you, or you can choose to see it as an opportunity to grow stronger. It's about mindset, and mindset can be shaped by your daily actions, thoughts, and decisions. So, when life gets tough, when you feel overwhelmed or defeated, ask yourself, How can I choose strength in this moment? It might not be easy, but it's always a choice. And that choice will make all the difference in your journey. Strength is not a magical trait granted to only a few people. It's something that grows through conscious decisions, over time, through the commitment to push forward even when the path is difficult. The most successful, resilient, and powerful people in the world didn't become who they are because they never experienced hardship. They became strong because they chose not to let adversity break them. They made the choice to rise. And so can you. Strength is built through discipline. It's about making the right choices, even when it's hard. Every time you choose to delay gratification or face a fear, you're building mental muscles. To truly understand the role of discipline, we need to think of it not just as a set of rules or restrictions, but as a tool for personal growth and strength. We often hear that strength is built over time. But what does that really mean? It means that every small action you take today can help you become stronger tomorrow. Imagine discipline like a muscle. Just as you work out your body in the gym to get physically stronger, you work on your discipline every time you make a tough choice, especially when no one's watching. Every time you resist the urge to procrastinate, or when you push yourself to work on something difficult, you're exercising your discipline. But this doesn't just happen overnight. It's a process. Strength, both physical and mental, is built over time through consistent effort. It's about showing up for yourself even when you don't feel like it. So, when you choose to get out of bed early to work on a goal, or when you say no to a temptation, you're investing in your future strength. You might have a goal of losing weight. It's easy to skip a workout or eat junk food when it feels more comfortable, right? But every time you push through and make the disciplined choice to stay on track with your healthy habits, you're building mental strength. And over time, those little actions add up. You'll find that eventually your commitment becomes a habit. And when that happens, your mental strength will be noticeably stronger. What was once a challenge becomes a part of your routine. It's easy to give in to distractions or comforts, but real strength lies in the ability to say no to short-term pleasures for long-term goals. Temptation is everywhere. In a world full of distractions, it can feel almost impossible to stay focused on your goals. Whether it's the pull of social media, the allure of a short-term reward, or the comfort of putting off hard work for tomorrow, these temptations are real. They offer immediate satisfaction, but what they often take from you is long-term fulfillment and success. Self-control is about recognizing that while you can enjoy the comfort of immediate pleasures, it is your ability to resist those in favor of long-term growth that truly defines your strength. Let me explain with another example. You might want to relax and watch Netflix for hours, but you've set a goal to finish a project or learn something new. The pleasure of entertainment is short-term, and it's easy to give into that desire because it's instant. But by exercising self-control, you're choosing a longer, more meaningful reward. This doesn't mean you have to be constantly harsh on yourself or deny all comforts. It means being mindful about when it's appropriate to indulge and when it's time to put your focus on something more important. The more you practice self-control in these moments, the more you'll see the payoff. Not only will you make progress toward your goals, but you'll also feel a deeper sense of accomplishment. The more you practice self-control, the better you become at it. Think of it like learning a new language or playing an instrument. At first, it's challenging, and you might give in to your impulses more easily. But with time and practice, self-control becomes second nature. You start realizing that the discomfort you might feel in a moment is nothing compared to pride and satisfaction you feel once you've completed a meaningful task or reached a significant milestone. Now, I want you to ask yourself, what do you tend to give into? Is it a habit of fear or a momentary desire that distracts you from your long-term goals? How can you start small to build your self-control? Maybe it's turning off notifications for an hour or taking a 5-minute break to breathe when you're tempted to react impulsively. It's not about perfection, but progress. I want to emphasize that discipline and self-control aren't about being perfect. It's not about never slipping up or always being 100% focused. We're all human, and we all have moments where we might falter, but it's about recognizing that you don't have to stay there. Every time you get back up after a setback, you're proving to yourself that you can get stronger. Think of it as planting a seed. You may not see immediate results, But if you keep nurturing it with small, consistent actions, eventually you'll look back and realize how much you've grown. Discipline and self-control are what help you nurture that seed. They guide you when things get tough, and they keep you on track, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. Building strength is a gradual process. Discipline and self-control aren't just about saying no to temptation, but about making better choices day after day, even when it's uncomfortable. Each of these small decisions adds up to create a more resilient, focused, and stronger you. Remember, self-control is a skill. It's not about being perfect. It's about progress. With time, you'll learn to face temptation with more resilience, and the more you practice, the easier it becomes. The true power comes not from avoiding discomfort, but from choosing what truly matters to you in the long run. And with discipline and self-control, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. The first step in overcoming weakness is awareness. What are the areas in your life where you're giving up too easily? Is it in your relationships, your career, or your personal growth? Recognizing personal weakness is an incredibly important first step in any process of change. Without awareness, we can't begin to address the issues holding us back. Many of us carry around areas of our lives where we are unwilling to push through discomfort, avoid difficult conversations, or shy away from growth opportunities because of fear, doubt, or past failures. Self-reflection is key. The first part of this process is taking an honest, introspective look at your life. Where do you avoid challenges? Are there specific tasks at work you always put off because they feel too hard? Or perhaps you find it difficult to stand up for yourself in relationships, whether personal or professional. These are the areas where weakness often lurks. Are you procrastinating on things you know you should be doing? These questions may seem uncomfortable, but they are necessary for growth. Take the time to write them down and reflect on them. Your answers are the starting point for making lasting change. Identify patterns of weakness. Often, our weaknesses aren't isolated events, but patterns in our behavior. For example, if you avoid confrontation in relationships because you fear the conflict, that becomes a recurring weakness in how you interact with others. Being aware of these patterns allows you to target them and take conscious steps to change. Strength isn't just something you wish for, it's something you build. Here are 4 practical steps you can take to become stronger in all areas of your life. Overcoming weakness doesn't happen overnight. It requires action, consistency, and a willingness to step out of your comfort zone. Here's how you can start building strength in your life. Build a daily routine that challenges you. A strong routine is the backbone of personal strength. A routine doesn't just give you structure. It helps you stay disciplined, focused, and committed to improvement every single day. However, the key is to ensure that your routine challenges you, not just with easy tasks, but with tasks that push you outside your comfort zone. Start with small challenges. It doesn't have to be something huge. It could be something as simple as waking up earlier than usual or taking time for personal reflection. As you grow more comfortable with those small challenges, you can increase the level of difficulty. Set up habits that force you to grow. If you've always struggled with fitness, start a simple daily exercise routine, even just 15 minutes a day. If you struggle with procrastination, commit to working on a project for 30 minutes daily without distractions. Consistency is key. Strength isn't built by sporadic bursts of effort. It's built by showing up every day, doing the hard work, and facing your weaknesses consistently. Over time, this will become second nature, and you'll realize that you become more resilient. Set clear, achievable goals and stick to them. Strength is not just about surviving. It's about thriving and reaching your full potential. To get there, you need to set clear, achievable goals that keep you focused and give you a sense of direction. Goals give you something concrete to strive for, and they measure progress. Be specific with your goals. Instead of vague goals like, I want to be stronger, break it down into something specific and actionable. I will finish reading 1 personal development book per month, or I will complete my work project 2 days before the deadline. Keep goals realistic and manageable. The key to sticking with your goals is to ensure they're realistic. Set yourself up for success by choosing goals that challenge you, but are still within your capacity to achieve. Stay accountable. Share your goals with a friend, or track your progress publicly if you feel comfortable. Accountability helps keep you motivated, especially when the going gets tough. Remember, consistency is more important than perfection. Surround yourself with strong, supportive people. The people you spend your time with have a significant impact on your growth. If you're surrounded by people who are constantly complaining, playing small, or enabling negative behaviors, it becomes harder to grow. Seek out positive influences. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, encourage your growth, and challenge you to be better. These people can help you stay focused on your goals, offer valuable advice, and push you forward during difficult times. Don't be afraid to distance yourself. Sometimes, overcoming weakness means distancing yourself from people or environments that drain you or keep you stuck. This doesn't mean abandoning friends or family, but it might mean setting boundaries with toxic people or limiting your time with those who bring negativity. Strengthen community. Being part of a supported community, whether through online groups, friends, or mentorship, provides you with encouragement and feedback. This communal strength can often make the difference between sticking to your goals and falling short. Excuses are the biggest enemy of strength. They hold you back, make you comfortable in your weakness, and prevent you from growing. Excuses allow us to avoid responsibility and avoid facing the tough situations we need to conquer. Recognize when you're making excuses. It's easy to say, "I don't have time, I'm too tired," or "I'm not good enough." But these are just excuses. They are your mind's way of protecting you from discomfort and the fear of failure. Own your choices. Rather than making excuses, take ownership of your decisions. If you don't have time for something important, ask yourself why. Is it because you didn't prioritize it? Did you spend too much time on distractions? By confronting the root cause of your excuses, you can start to eliminate them. Shift your mindset. Instead of thinking "I can't," start thinking "I will." Strength begins with the way you view challenges. When you face difficulties, remind yourself that they are opportunities for growth. Every time you face something difficult and choose to push through, you're building your strength. Overcoming weakness is a process that starts with awareness and is followed by consistent, intentional action. It's not about being perfect or never feeling weak. It's about recognizing where you're weak, making a conscious effort to improve, and committing to the hard work of personal growth. Remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Focus on small changes that can have a big impact over time. Surround yourself with people who support your growth. Create a routine that challenges you, set achievable goals, and stop making excuses. Every step you take is a step toward becoming a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. By building strength in these areas, you're not only overcoming weakness, but you're also preparing yourself for the challenges life will inevitably throw your way. You're becoming someone who can face adversity with confidence, learn from every failure, and continue growing in pursuit of greatness. When you choose strength, you're not just choosing to be physically strong or to appear confident. You're choosing a mindset, a way of living that influences every part of your life. Choosing strength is about embracing growth, challenges, and responsibility. It's not about being perfect, but about making a conscious decision to show up even when things are difficult. Two important aspects: personal growth and the broader impact on relationships, career, and life. When we talk about choosing strength, it's important to understand that strength isn't just about enduring tough times. It's about how you evolve through those times. It's about taking control of your actions, your choices, and your emotions rather than letting external circumstances dictate who you are. Confidence isn't something that magically happens one day. It's built over time, through consistent actions and decisions that reinforce a belief that you are capable. Every time you choose to be strong, whether it's saying no to things that don't align with your values or stepping up when others may hesitate, you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you might have thought. And with each small act of strength, your confidence naturally grows. For example, imagine facing a difficult conversation that you've been avoiding. If you choose to face it head on, even though it's uncomfortable, you come out of that situation not just relieved, but proud. That confidence from taking action in discomfort will carry over into the next challenge. Strength doesn't mean taking reckless risks, but rather being willing to step outside your comfort zone. When you choose strength, you trust yourself enough to take risks, to make decisions that align with your long-term goals, even if they involve uncertainty. The growth you experience from these risks comes from the fact that you're willing to face failure, not avoid it. Strength is about understanding that failure is often part of the journey, and it doesn't define you. It simply teaches you lessons you can carry forward. For example, when you take a leap of faith in your career, like apply for a job that feels like a stretch or pursuing a creative project you're passionate about, you may feel unsure at first, but that's where growth happens. When you choose to embrace the challenge, even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. Strength helps you develop a sense of discipline and self-control, both of which are crucial for making good decisions. When you choose strength, you stop making choices based on immediate emotions, impulsiveness, or fear. Instead, you make decisions from a place of clarity, purpose, and thoughtfulness. For example, you might face a situation where choosing the easy path seems tempting, maybe skipping a workout, ignoring a responsibility, or avoiding an uncomfortable conversation. But choosing strength means deciding to do what's right in the long run, even when it's hard. It's that ability to choose wisely, consistently, that helps you build a life you're proud of. Life is filled with challenges, big and small. Choosing strength means you'll face those challenges with resilience. Instead of succumbing to defeat, you approach obstacles with determination and the belief that you can learn and adapt through them. Resilience doesn't mean never feeling down or discouraged. It means getting back up after each setback, learning from what happened, and continuing to move forward with even more determination. For example, think about a difficult time in your life, maybe a setback at work or a personal struggle. Choosing strength during that period means you don't let it define you. You allow yourself to feel the emotions, but you don't let them stop you. You rise up, adapt, and move forward, learning something new from experience each time. Strength isn't just something that improves you internally. It has a ripple effect on everything around you, including your relationships, career, and the way you engage with life itself. Let's break it down further. Being strong doesn't mean being unfeeling or invulnerable. In fact, real strength lies in being open, vulnerable, and accountable in your relationships. When you choose strength in your relationships, you stop running from tough conversations. You are willing to take responsibility for your actions and own up to your mistakes. This builds trust and deepens your connections with others. For example, if you had a falling out with a friend or family member, choosing strength means you don't shy away from addressing the issue. You step up and have an honest conversation, even if it's uncomfortable, because you value the relationship enough to work through the challenges. Strength is essential in navigating the ups and downs of your career. When you approach your work with strength, you're not afraid to take on challenges that will push your professional growth. You own your career path, and you make decisions that move you forward, even if it means stepping out of your comfort zone. Strength in your career also means being responsible for your outcomes. It's easy to blame others or circumstances for things that don't go your way. But strength involves taking accountability for what you can control, learning from your mistakes, and constantly striving to improve. For example, if you're passed over for a promotion, instead of letting it defeat you, strength means reflecting on what you can do differently and taking proactive steps to grow and improve. It means taking ownership of your career trajectory instead of waiting for opportunities to fall in your lap. Strength in life means living with purpose, facing every day with determination, and taking ownership of your choices. It means you approach each new day with the belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. You don't wait for life to give you permission to succeed. You go after what you want, even when the road is uncertain. Strength also means learning from the past without letting it hold you back. Life is full of twists and turns, but choosing strength means that no matter what happens, you're committed to moving forward with intention. For example, maybe you experience a setback or a disappointment in life. Instead of letting it define you or holding on to resentment, choosing strength means you rise from it. You take the lessons learned and use them to fuel your next chapter. Choosing strength is not about being perfect or invincible. It's about making a conscious decision every day to approach life with resilience, confidence, and responsibility. When you choose strength, you open the door to continuous personal growth. You become someone who faces challenges head-on, learns from failures, and rises stronger each time. And the impact isn't limited to your own life. Choosing strength inspires those around you, whether in your relationships, career, or broader community. It encourages others to rise to their own potential, creating a ripple effect of positivity, growth, and mutual respect. Ultimately, Choosing strength is a daily practice of showing up, even when it's tough. It's about knowing that you're capable of more than you realize and making the choice to act on that belief, no matter the circumstances. Remember, strength isn't just about what you can lift or how hard you push physically. It's about resilience, determination, and pushing to the challenges life throws at you. Don't let weakness define you. Stay strong, keep fighting, and always believe in yourself. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Until next time, stay strong and never back down.